Hi there, this is Anna at VSAC, and I'm here today with Corey Gottfried from LinCo Entertainment based out of Colchester, Vermont. And Corey is going to tell us a little bit more about his work. So Corey, I'll start with, can you tell us your job title and a little bit more about where you work?
Sure. Hi, Anna. Thank you for including me in this. This is really quite an honor. I am an entertainer by trade. I am a singer, musician, DJ entertainer. I also do some sound reinforcement, and lately I've been writing children's stories.
Um, that's great. Can you tell us a little bit more about what your job entails?
Sure. Well, let's see. There's different parts of my job, different parts of my business equation. So first, as a singer musician, I do solo work. I play in bands and have been professionally for 48 years, traveling around through New England, but lately for the last 10 or so years, predominantly staying in Vermont. I perform in clubs and private functions and things of that nature. The DJ entertainment part of me, I'm a full spectrum entertainer where I do weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, corporate functions, school functions, anniversaries, birthdays, anything where they need DJ entertainment, I'm their guy. Let's see, I do some sound reinforcement, which means I bring my PA system and I'm the sound technician, and I'll do school drama productions or talent shows. I even did sound for the Miss Vermont pageant. I even directed the Miss Vermont pageant a couple of years in a row. So I'll do things like that where I'll reinforce the sound for some sort of event. And then lately I've been writing children's stories. So my elementary school age target, it's called The Adventures of Jazz. And Jazz is an alien from a different planet whose father is the ambassador from that planet. And he came with his father and the rest of his family to Earth for the first time, and he discovers the amazing and wondrous things about Earth. So I've written 7 stories in the series so far, and that's pretty much my entertainment business equation.
That is awesome. That's such a wide diversity of entertainment things. Can you tell us a little bit about your educational background and how you got into this sort of work?
Sure. I only have a high school diploma, but it's the Regents High School diploma out of New York. I'm born and raised in Manhattan, in Washington Heights in Manhattan in New York City. Moved to Vermont in '74. Got a Regents diploma from graduating high school in the city, and then always was into music. I was always part of the band and orchestra since 7th grade. I was the trumpet section leader for the Borough-wide Band of Manhattan, which meant we'd wake up early Saturday morning, take the A train down to the Museum of Natural History, and rehearse with about 100 other kids on a Saturday morning, which was absolutely crazy getting up that early, but it was so much fun. And then in high school also, I switched to guitar and was always in the band. And as soon as I graduated from high school, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, which was play in a rock and roll band. And that's what I did. As soon as I graduated, I just went into the music industry. And the summer I graduated in 1972, I got paid for my first public appearance as a professional musician. So that's how I started getting into it. I have other credentials since then because I've done other things along the way besides being an entertainer. So I have a cosmetology license. I have a school bus driver's license. I have a realtor's license. Checking out and exploring other industries and other career type things, but never left the entertainment world and have been there ever since.
That's great. Thanks. What is one of your favorite things about your job?
Well, as an entertainer, one of my favorite things, besides getting paid, of course, is I guess it would be to create amazing memories for folks. My job as a DJ entertainer is to facilitate an event and have it come off as fun and as memorable as possible, as if it was spontaneously staged. As a singer musician, it's a different sort of perspective and a different sort of reality. It's more of a performer type situation rather than a DJ. Is more of I'm a mobile DJ in comparison to a club DJ. A club DJ is somebody where it's all about their taste in music. A mobile DJ, which is what I am, I go out there and do corporate functions and private functions, excuse me. And my job is to accommodate my audiences by playing the material that they would like to hear. not necessarily the material I would like to hear.
Mm.
But my favorite thing overall is to just have connection with folks through a creative process like music. I'd love being able to interact with folks when I'm live, and and you know, there's a lot of favorite things. Like, for example, as a DJ entertainer, when the floor is packed with people dancing to every song that you put up there, and they're laughing and yelling and screaming and smiling and jumping and just having a joyous occasion, you just can't beat that. You just go home going, you know, that was cool, and pat yourself on the back for helping people have such a great time. As the singer musician part of me, similar. When I sing a song, especially if it's one that I've written, because I'm also a singer songwriter, there's no greater joy than to have someone applaud you for your creative work, something that you know, that there was nothing and you made it up and put it out there. So, you know, those are just a few of the things that I particularly really enjoy about what I do.
That's great. Can you talk a little bit about what things you find most challenging about your work?
Yeah, I would say most challenging is when you're in front of an audience and they're seemingly not responding. So, for example, I'll be at a wedding as a DJ entertainer, and I'm in my tux, and I'm under a tent, and it's really warm out, and it's a Sunday afternoon, and nobody is dancing. And they're just sitting there talking and having refreshments. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I am just bombing. And why am I here? And then after the event, I'll be packing up, and people will be coming over, and they'll be tipping me and shaking my hand and thanking me for a wonderful time. And I'll say, yes, but nobody danced. And they said, we don't like to dance. We just like to listen to the music. And you played a great mix. And that I learned about 25 or so years ago. And that was a valuable lesson learned, that it's not about dancing. It's about people having a good time. So things like that I would find challenging, you know, really shouldn't be a challenge. Other things that I might find challenging is on the business side of things, is when you've reserved a date for somebody and then at the very last minute, they cancel you for whatever reasons. A lot of times they're for good reasons, but nevertheless, you've been canceled, which means you reserved that date for somebody and you're not getting paid that day. So hopefully you have enough business coming in and enough revenue being generated that it's not going to put you out of business. But those are some of the challenges that I face as an entertainer, that all entertainers face. Fortunately for me, the percentage of cancellations are very low in my experience, and I've been very lucky and very grateful for that.
Thanks. I would imagine your day-to-day varies a lot depending on what you're working on, but could you walk us through kind of what a typical day might look for you?
Absolutely. There are performance days and there are non-performance days. Which are you more interested in?
Whichever one you want to share. Maybe a non-performance day, since that.
A non-performance day is a variety of days. There is no typical day, but what usually happens is a combination of talking with folks about future events and the possibility of them engaging my services, or conversations with people that have committed to an event, and we're touching base about details and collaborating and coordinating those details in preparation for that event. Part of my day will be marketing and promotions and getting the word out. Networking is a large part of what I do. I've been networking for forever, which is networking in the authentic sense, which is building authentic relationships with people and trying to help them with their business, you know, endeavors. And when you do that, they'll think of you in a positive light and think of you when somebody needs a DJ or a singer or a guitar player. So networking is a big part of it. There's repairs for the equipment. There's preparation and material. So both as a singer musician, I have to learn new songs. As a DJ, I'm always collecting new songs in my database. It's a never-ending list of things to do. And right now, I'm the only entertainer in my company. I have at one time had up to 10 entertainers. And when I did that, I would have to coordinate their schedules and prepare all the details for all their events. So the older I got, the more I made things simple, and now it's just me in my catalog. But that's pretty much a typical day.
Nice, thanks. What do you think would make someone a good fit for this kind of work?
Great question. I would say that a good match would be a person that really enjoys celebrations and really enjoys connecting with people and authentically gets satisfaction from helping people create wonderful memories and helping them to, so the DJ entertainer side of me, accommodating them to the best of my ability, so at the end of the event I walk away knowing that I did the best I possibly could do, and they've got smiles on their faces and they're talking about how great a time they had for years to come. As the singer musician part of me, especially as a singer songwriter, when I'm out there singing and playing my guitar, whether I'm by myself or in a band situation, that people are walking away, you know, who have connected with me through the music. They're laughing or crying or thinking or just some sort of emotional or thought response to the songs that I selected that they're being entertained by. So somebody who would enjoy that kind of situation. It's all about connection. It's all about relationships, whether you're speaking with people in a conversation or you're sharing a message. And I guess if I had to think even more about it, the bottom line is somebody who likes telling stories. If you're a storyteller, then you could tell stories through music. You could tell stories through, even as a DJ entertainer, because I don't just push buttons and play songs. I'm also a personality. I facilitate, I make jokes, I make cracks, I move things along, all appropriate, of course. So it's really, storyteller also. So that sort of person.
That's great. You've touched on this a little bit with your background, but if a student might be interested in this kind of work, what would you recommend that they do now to explore it? Like, are this their volunteer work or classes or projects at home or clubs or any of that you would recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. If someone is interested in being a singer and or musician, and they're still in school, I would say, get into the band, get into the orchestra, join the choir, hang around them. If you're not interested in, if you just want to explore it, ask to sit in on the band or orchestra rehearsal or choir rehearsal. See if you get the tingle that I got when I was back in high school, that went all through my body when I saw kids up on stage performing, and I went, wow, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do in my life. You could feel the tingle. I could feel it right now going through my body as if I was in middle school. So go in and just hang out and see if that's something you might enjoy. And then if you think you would, join the band, join the orchestra, join the choir, see what that's like. If you're more interested in being a DJ entertainer, then I would say there are DJs all over the place. Find your local DJ entertainer, give them a call, tell them you're kind of curious about what it's like, and ask them if you could tag along with them on an event. You would you'd have to dress up probably because it's an event. You'd have to get the client's permission that you'd be coming along. But DJ companies are always looking for the next best DJ. So just call and say, hey, I am interested in checking this occupation out. May I tag along with you on some event? And that will expose you to the realities and the behind the scenes to something like that. I would also, if you ever do parties, for example, get out your CD collection or your iTunes collection or your Spotify collection and put together a playlist and perform for people. Play the music, pick the music, and see how they respond. Be that person who's in charge of the music. That'll give you a taste to what it might be like as a DJ entertainer.
That's great. Thanks. And what about, is there any kind of education or training that you think someone might want to think about down the road to help them succeed in this kind of work?
Good question. As a singer musician, it can never hurt to go get lessons. I had very few lessons in my life, mostly self-taught, watching other people, asking millions and millions of questions over the last, let's see, I'm going to be 66 next month. I started playing guitar when I was 16. I started playing trumpet in the 7th grade. I've been performing since I was 4 years old, doing family things. So I would say that if you can get formal instruction, great. It will always come in handy. But if you can't, that's okay. If let's, for example, you wanted to learn how to play guitar, you could go on YouTube and there's 1,000 people that'll teach you how to play guitar. So if you really want to do something, YouTube is a great resource. Start there. If you want to be a DJ, I'm sure if you typed in how to become a DJ, somebody will tell you on YouTube. So things like that. Of course, if you go to school and you get communications background, bonus. I never got anything like that. Everything I learned along the way. I think formal education is always good and always will come in handy, because when you're building relationships, the more knowledgeable you are about a variety of things, the better you'll be able to have that conversation and build those authentic relationships. But if you don't have access to it, in my opinion, you can still achieve what you want to achieve on your own. Just find people who are doing it and ask them a million questions, and then you will learn, and then go out and do it. You want to learn, do, and teach it. And that's how you want to do anything in life.
That's great. Anything else you want to say to students about your work, or anything you would recommend to them?
I would recommend that you try it. If you ever had the notion to sing or play an instrument or DJ a party, just go do it. Don't worry about not knowing how to do it. Just go do it. Do it for your friends. They love you. They'll be forgiving. Go out and try it. See what it's like. See how it feels. Just try it on. And it's a very challenging life, but not any less or more challenging than any other occupation or career. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing well. And if you believe that that's what you're in alignment with, then nobody and nothing could stop you. So just go out and try it. See what it's like. I've been doing it almost all my life, and I absolutely love it. I'll never get tired of it. And and you could make money at it if you're smart and you learn the business side of entertainment.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it.